In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today. Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg. Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I am Taurian B.
How we feeling today, sir?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. You know, TGIF Friday.
Yeah, man. You guys will get this by the time you hear this. It'll probably be Wednesday. That'll be well after the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will be on the other side of the Kendrick performance, on the other side of who you think is going to win.
I think the Eagles are going to win.
I think so too.
I've been doing really bad with predictions. The two teams that I predicted were going to be in the Super Bowl got washed that weekend.
Yeah.
The
Lions.
I've said the Lions and Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I was rooting for the Lions. I would have loved to see that. I think we're about due. Every year, though, we get closer and closer. You know, the year before that, we did really good. I feel like we surprised a lot of people the year before. So yeah. We'll see, man. I mean, maybe next year will be that year. But I think for this one, I want to say it'll be very nice for the Eagles to win. Yeah.
I think so, man. I would love for Saquon Barkley to get his shine.
Yeah, for sure. Even though, you know, they digging up stuff on his girl. And it's looking crazy for Black History Month, right?
Yeah, man. I just, you know, for me, like sometimes I just randomly go through my tweets and like get rid of stuff that I'm like, man, you can't say stuff like that.
Yeah,
right? Like, and it's nothing. Mine is like nothing like racist. Mine stuff is like
that.
My stuff is like, you know, like I hate Chris Tucker, stuff like that.
Yeah, but then you think that's as recent as like 2018, 2019, though.
Yeah, but like, nah, like I don't say I hate him no more. Now I just say other stuff like, I just think that his career was shit as far as a stand-up comedian.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, I think what's so crazy though is that obviously Twitter was in a different place in like 2009, 2010. It was like the Wild Wild West. You could just say whatever, but you could say what, like even from the tweets that we saw from Saquon Barkley's wife, they're like 2010, 2011, and it had like 1 to 2 retweets where it's like, you can just tweet and nobody reacts to whatever you say and just interact with you like it's normal. But now,
I just wonder why she didn't think the day he got drafted, because she's been with him since college. The day he got drafted, she should have scrubbed her Twitter. Like that's like, obviously she shouldn't have said it at all. But it's just like the fact that like nobody gave a fuck about when he was on the Giants, nobody gave a fuck about, but they're in the Super Bowl now. So like every part of your life is like talked about. So, you know, it makes sense.
For our listeners that don't know what we're referencing. So Saquon Barkley is with a white woman. And in 2010 or 2011, she tweeted something to the effect of referring to the Cheetah Girls as Cheetah Niggas.
Yeah, it was a hashtag. Like rename Disney movies with nigga.
Yeah. And so she participated and she called them Cheetah Niggas. And nobody talked about this back then. Nobody remembers this. But now, you know, with them going to the Super Bowl, it's significant because, unfortunately, a lot of people like to dig into people's lives from the heyday of social media and see if they could dig up dirt. So that came up.
She said a lot. She said she calls her mother nigga. Yeah, like all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
And as of this recording, I don't think they've addressed this yet, right? They haven't said anything.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I would be shocked if they do address it, but
I think they shouldn't, because if they do, it'll just fan the flames. I don't think there's publications talking about it. I think right now it's just living on Twitter.
Yeah.
So if they spoke about it, it fan the flames, and you'll have ESPN talking about it. You'll have everybody talking about this shit leading up to the big day. So if they do talk about this shit, it'll probably be after the Super Bowl. And speaking of Super Bowl, we're leading into Kendrick.
The halftime show. Yeah, apparently it got leaked. or something like that?
Yeah, I saw that. I started blocking accounts that like the academics account, I blocked it the other day because I was like, bro, like there's just one academics account that has an agenda against Kendrick.
Okay. Yeah, it starts with a K, right? Caraco.
No, it's not that one. There's literally an account that's called like academics whatever, right? And I don't think they're associated with academics, but they're like fanboys of Drake. So whatever it is to push an agenda toward Kendrick or about Kendrick, they're usually pro that.
Wow.
And so that comes up on my timeline all the time. So I had to block it the other day so I don't see anything from it.
I don't even gotta go that far. Fucking LaShawn wanted. He was like, "Yo, if you didn't hear it, I recorded it." I'm like, "I'm good, LaShawn."
Do you what's your prediction? What do you think he's gonna open with?
Good Kid, Mad City. I mean, Good Kid.
You talking?
I mean, Mad City.
Oh yeah, Mad City.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that, but
no, I'm sorry, not Mad. What's the song with MC8? Is that
that's
Mad City?
You talking about brace yourself and tell you?
Yeah.
So I thought that.
Which song is "Wake Your Bitch Ass Up Now, Nigga"? Is that?
So that's the tail end of Mad City.
Okay, yeah, that's Mad City.
I was thinking that the other day, but I don't think he'll do that only because he started out with that a few years ago at the Super Bowl when he performed for Dre. You know, so he started his performance with that. So I don't know if he's gonna do that again. It'll still be cool to see that song. I don't know what he's gonna start with yet, but I have a good feeling he's gonna end with All the Stars with SZA.
I thought he was gonna. I think TV Off is where you're gonna end it.
Oh, that'd be good too, and something kind of like fades out. You know, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think TV Off is what he'll end with. I don't want Not Like. I'm very upset that people are saying solely because of Not Like Us, he's getting the Super Bowl. It really rubs me the wrong way. And maybe it's because I'm a Kendrick fan.
It's like people have revisionist history. Kendrick has been Grammy's artist, a Grammy's favorite well before this. He's been cleaning up. This Pulitzer Prize Kenny. People forget that.
I just think that some people, I think that Kendrick Lamar just exists for some people and they aren't like tapped in, and so they don't know like the accolades and the things that like he's like achieving. So they don't think that he's deserving of, because like, you know, for them, they might not hear Kendrick all the time on the radio or like see him on like streaming and everything like that.
That's also true too. He's a new spotlighted artist for them.
Yeah.
Like, they've been seeing him around, but when you take down one of the biggest pop stars in rap, it puts new eyes on you.
Yeah, I agree. So like, I just feel like for a lot of them, like they just had no, like I talked to a few of our friends are like big Drake fans. So like talking to them and like hearing like their opinions and shit like that, like it's like really interesting. And then like we have, so like I have LaShawn, who's a huge Drake fan, right? And then my buddy Hector, who's a huge Drake fan. So like basically you talk to them like it's like Kendrick Lamar never existed.
Yeah.
But then you have Drake fans that are like Danny and Felix, who are fully aware of Kendrick Lamar's abilities and like his stance and like, you know, who he is in hip hop.
Yeah.
But they're just like, we just prefer Drake.
Yeah. I was talking to my boy, shout out to Esco. He feels like, you know, there's like this unfair advantage that Kendrick has. And there's there's a lot of eyes on Kendrick right now, but he feels that way because, you know, and I feel like a lot of people online feel this way because there's like a lot of powerful people in Kendrick's corner, right? And Drake is kind of like seemingly on a decline. So like you get shit like at the Grammys, he wins an award and they play the actual lyrics in the song, whereas usually they would just play the chorus for a song that wins. And that's true. I feel like that's true. I feel like when people usually win awards, they just play the chorus. So the artist walks up, but they played the second verse. Like that's like super like pointed, you know, that's specific. That stood out to me too. I was like, that's a little weird. You know, I think the song is an undeniable smash, but I do feel like there's the powers that be that are moving it in a certain direction. You know, it's pretty blatant at this point.
You sue me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, I'm gonna show you power, bitch.
I mean, so yeah. So there's this vindictive part of it too that just can't be ignored.
I think this is Drake's karma, and I think that Drake's not understanding this. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm a Drake fan. Like I don't dislike Drake. Like he's crushed a lot of rappers. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that like he's done, and I just think like, you know, it's his turn.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of shit behind the scenes that I guess we're just not cool enough to know. And someday we'll probably find out more.
And it's funny, like that may be true, but I'm just talking about like what he did to Meek Mill was crazy.
Yeah, but Meek brought that on himself,
and Drake brought this on himself, right?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is just that like the difference is that Meek wasn't a big enough established artist for the label heads to care.
Mm-hmm.
And like they were like, we was rolling with him anyway. And I think for Drake is Drake. Like there's no denying that. I don't think Drake is done. I don't think Drake is finished. I think like, you know, like Drake is Drake. I just think that in going forward, like, okay, like, yeah, Drake, you got to make room. There's somebody else now. Like, so, you know, there's Kendrick Lamar now. You know, this is Dr. Dre's guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know you're Birdman's guy, but like in everything, but like, yeah, this is Dr. Dre's guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, Dr. Dre has beats or, you know, and this other film studio in the back pocket and certain things like that. Like, I just think it's just a matter of relationships and who people like, who schmoozes the most. LA. Dr. Dre is from LA. Like, it just works. Like, Dr. Dre brought us Eminem, Snoop Dogg, mm-hmm. you know, or like NWA, you know, like it just is what it is. Like, I don't understand like why like people can't understand like it seems like it's impossible to people that Kendrick Lamar can be in this position, and it's like he signed the Aftermath records.
Yeah. And he's only been one of the most consistent artists on the music tip. Not as far as like how consistent or frequent he drops, but the content and the quality of his music. He's been consistent since he dropped. Like, it's always a really good album that people talk about and that has staying power. The only album that people kind of are up in arms about was Mr. Morale, you know, which I still think holds a really good spot in his discography. Still,
I love Mr. Morale.
Yeah,
like, Mr. Morale, and I had to like Mr. Morale had to grow on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Mr. Morale,
and To Pimp a Butterfly had to grow on a lot of people.
I love that shit from the start. But yeah, like I just think that I don't know, bro. Like seriously, like I don't like I guess I'm confused by it because I'm just like, damn, like as his albums come out, I've liked him more as more projects have come out. Like every new project makes me like it pulls back a layer. Like I know Good Kid, Mad City is like his like end all be all,
mm-hmm.
but I like the newer albums better.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just me. Like but like I think that's a sign because sometimes you drop that first album,
mm-hmm.
that's the album that people would like always go back to. But I'm always excited when the new project comes out.
It shows his growth as an artist, and it's cool to see because one of the things that I've always admired about Kendrick is that he's still unlocking new layers to himself as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
It took us 3 albums to even learn about that Duckworth story, which was the story on Duckworth rather, which was that's such a back pocket story. Like that the theme of that and what it really means is
mm-hmm.
so important to him as an artist. So that's really cool. And then another thing that stood out to me was in his interview with Nadeska and Ebro on Apple Music, she kind of mentions like, you know, it's really cool that you got to this point in your career as an artist and we're just learning this about you. And he's like, yeah, but I've always been this way. Like my friends from 03, 04, they'll tell you like, I mean, yeah, it might be new to y'all, but this has always been me. So I thought that was fly because it's like, you know, feel like a lot of artists, especially in his position, they'll rush out to like let you know as much as possible and then they burn out. But with him, he takes his time and is calculated.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good. And I think that's a sign of his pen.
Yeah.
That means that he doesn't have to like rely on certain like really interesting things. He can like wait. He will, you know, I'll do that on this project, you know, have other things to talk about. I think that's a sign of how good of a rapper he is.
Yeah.
So there's that, right? Let's see what else. Let's see. Kanye's crashing out.
Yeah, not a new one, a new crash out.
Yeah, I don't I don't like it when he crashes out ever, but I think like this one might be like the worst one. Like he's saying free Diddy, he loves Hitler, he said fuck Virgil. is really disappointing because it's like every time I think like shit quiets down, I'm like, all right, cool. Like we can root for Kanye. Like he's like, nope, I want you to hate me some more. And it's just weird. Like, and I really hope that I hope that like whatever pain he's going through like gets healed or gets fixed, because he's obviously in pain. Like for him to always want to cause confusion like this, it's fucking weird. Like, all right, he goes to the Grammys, you know, obviously your wife is naked on the Grammys. Like, you know, I think it's funny. Like he's saying like, yo, my wife was the most searched woman on the Grammys. Nigga, why don't you bring Kim K on the fucking Grammys and do that? I'm just, you know, like, I just think like things like that. Like if you really want to break the internet, nigga, like, you know, like Kim K, well, I just think Kim K would have absolutely said no.
I think so too. Well, no, she wouldn't. She definitely wouldn't have showed up naked.
Yeah, she would. She wouldn't. She might have had something like sheer, but she would have worn like underwear and stuff like and pasties on her nipples.
I just think she's in. You know, it's such a. He's just being a follower of Kanye for over the years. He's gonna make you contradict yourself, and that's the shit that I don't like.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, like we all contradict ourselves in different ways, but it's like I'm not about to be on this crazy ass roller coaster with you, like while you try to figure your shit out.
That nigga's sick, bro.
It's just weird to me. Like I'm not
sick. Talking about a dead man that he called his friend, like all kind of shit. Like, you know, I just think that
he just tweets shit to cause an uproar, like to stir an uproar. Like people be thinking that he's like throwing himself against the wall when he at least gives that image, like he throwing himself against the wall when he tweet this crazy shit. But if you've seen like the Genius documentary, you look at him, there's a scene in it where he tweeted something nuts, but he looked so calm. And he walked up to his friend and was like, "Yo, what you think it is?" And then he hit post, you know? So it's like, it's all supposed to inflict some type of pain and emotion and rage in people. And that's his goal.
Right.
And then he just puts his phone down and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird. And it's like, I hate giving people like that with that type of, that state of mind, the energy that they want.
Yeah, I think he's like legit sick. I genuinely do. I think that he's like out of it. Like I do not, and I'm not saying that as an excuse, like to feel sorry, but I legit think that he's crazy. Like he's really, I think he's legit out of his mind. Like, and I mean that in like the most serious way. Like, I don't think that he is in the right state of mind to like do a lot of things. And like I don't even want him to put out music anymore. I want him to just like go somewhere and just get help.
And all it takes is that nigga all it took was for him to go to Japan, lose a little weight, and upload a video of him chopping samples, and niggas was like, "Yo, he's back."
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, like, I'm just so tired of it, man. I haven't loved the Kanye album since 2016. Like, I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, Vultures had a few songs on there. I really like the Vultures one, but I get it. I understand.
That was Life of Pablo, 2016. That's the last time that I was like, man, this is good. This is so good. But other than that, I'm good, bro. I'm good. He never has to drop again. I don't need this nigga around. Just go somewhere.
I understand that. So like of the Grammys, like this year's Grammys, actually the production was really good. And I really enjoyed, my favorite part of the Grammys was when all of the artists that were nominated for Best New Artist did that medley of performances. I thought that was brilliant.
Because it's like, yo, these are all the people that's next up right now.
I thought it was really cool. I watched Sabrina Carpenter's performance, and at first I didn't get it. And then I was like, oh, she's supposed to be making mistakes. Like, this is kind of like some Lucille Ball shit where she was like fucking up the whole performance. I was like, yo, why does this bitch want to stay?
Yeah. You know, I was watching it. I was watching that performance with my cousin, with my cousin Ashley, and
good old Ash.
And we realized how lazy the new pop stars are. You know, like, I like Sabrina Carpenter. I think she's good. From some of the songs that I've heard, but like that performance wasn't shit. Like the tap dancing was lazy. I know it was supposed to be some type of, you know, like you said, like some homage on purpose.
Yeah.
And then there's like a segment in it where she dances or whatever, and then she goes in like that house that's on the stage. She goes in that house that's on the stage, and then she comes out with just like a fluffy scarf
right,
with the same outfit. And I'm so used to artists like Janet Jackson and Britney Spears or whatever that will go in that house and have a whole new outfit on.
Yeah.
Come out with a whole new fit and not miss a beat. Like, that's the kind of era that I'm used to. And that's the class that I'm used to with these pop stars. But for her, it was just like, you know, you kind of just, I like that she's being authentically white. I haven't seen her try to nigga nothing up. So that's
okay.
Cool. Yeah. That's cool.
She ain't trying to nigga nothing up. Okay.
Yeah. Cause you know, we got that with Miley and we forgave Miley for that. I think we did. Well, yeah, no, we have, because we moved on from it.
I just anticipate that Miley's going to dip back in and out whenever she feels like it. She's so talented. I'll be letting her nigga it up a little bit.
Yeah. She's, you know, Mike Will gonna pop up with a new Miley song at some point. It's coming. But yeah, I did like that best new artist segment a lot. Shout out to DJ Miss Milan.
Oh yes,
who's been fucking grinding.
Right.
And has this like amazing chemistry with Doechii that keeps getting better and better. That's like their tandem is just great, and what they've been able to do.
Yeah, I really like it. I like I said, the production, you could tell that they're really stepping up the production, and even like when they were just like all 13,000 voters. When they were giving out,
they're trying to let people know, like, we
have a real academy. These the peers.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. I'm also like really excited because now I'm pivoting. You know, Captain America comes out.
Oh yeah. You know, I'm trying to build excitement for it. I want to be excited for it, but I'm not. I know I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get up early in the morning and go watch the match.
That's a good early in the morning movie. I think.
Yeah,
I might do the same.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I might do the same. Let me know. I'll go with you.
Okay, cool.
But I don't know, man. I'm trying to build excitement for it because I'm excited for Anthony Mackie. I feel like there's a lot of people that's against it, and the closer it gets, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of racism rearing his head.
I don't know. I feel like white people like Anthony Mackie. I could be wrong.
He said something the other day that people was pretty divisive on, which was like, and everything that I've been seeing that people have been divisive on, he's just been kicking real shit. You know, like he hasn't said anything that's crazy to me, but people have been like, you know, he's like, yeah, no, Captain America is not about this.
That one. So basically he what was it? Captain America doesn't represent America right now.
That's what it said.
And people didn't like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's wrong with that? What the fuck is wrong with that?
Yeah, and it sucks because, you know, he's like real life New Orleans. So I know he be wanting to really kick some real shit.
Yeah.
And then he be having to be like, damn, I forgot who I was talking to.
Yeah, let me reel this in.
You know, Kevin Feige probably calling him like, come on, man.
Yeah, like.
Let's just get through the first week.
Yeah. I've been wanting to see him do more promo with Harrison Ford, but Harrison Ford old as shit. So he's probably limited to what he can do. But
Harrison Ford is working so much.
I know. Like, what? He's really good on Shrink. Did you finish Shrinking?
Sarah's watching. I'm not watching it.
He was really good on. He's the best part of that show.
Yeah, that's what Sarah said.
Yeah.
She was breaking it down to me.
Otherwise, it's, you know, it's like, it's really white. It's really, really white.
I didn't like, and I wasn't against watching it. It's just that Sarah started without me, and I was like,
yeah.
But you know, we started Manifest, which is really good, and I've been I tell anybody who will listen to watch that show.
I heard about that one.
You watched it?
Manifest?
I mean, I'm sorry. Paradise. Thinking about.
I heard about a show called Manifest.
Manifest. Yeah, Manifest is a show where the plane gets into it disappears and then it returns 5 years later.
Okay.
So yeah, Manifest is another good show, but I'm sorry.
You talking about Paradise?
Yeah, I'm having dad brain, guys. Sorry about that.
Paradise
is fucking amazing.
Paradise is fire. They're 4 episodes in. Sterling K. Brown. Nobody cries like that nigga.
Yeah,
nobody
cries like
Sterling K. Brown, and it's with the creator of This Is Us.
Yeah.
So, you know, it reels you in. The creator of This Is Us, if you've watched it, you know how This Is Us is known for building its stories through its flashbacks. So a lot of what they do in Paradise is kind of in remnants of that. And it's really good. It's really, really good. Really unique take and story. It's like, yo, the world goes to shit. We know that the world is about to go to shit. So these 25,000 people, we're going to remove from this society and kind of build our own underworld for them to survive and make it realistic, you know, so that they can kind of maintain their sanity. It's crazy. And I know the story is only going to get crazier.
Yeah, man. Like I'm just mad I got to wait once a week to watch that shit. And I started watching Invincible last night.
How is it?
It's good, but it's just frustrating that how they release episodes, man.
Yeah, I've been turned off by Invincible for a while, but I know it's good.
It's all Seth Rogen's fault.
I just got to get back into it. That's the thing. When these shows take so long, I get into other shit.
Yeah, man. We move on. Find a new girl.
I get into other shit, man. So
but let's see. We are I'm sorry. I'm taking your job. Let's get into the album.
Okay, yeah. So the album that we're getting into today, guys, is from a group. Speaking of taking a long time, taking time off and shit, but this group was pretty dominant. They had a really good spot in the early 2000s, right? With dropping albums. I think their first album dropped in like 2004 or something like that. I want to say.
No, their first album it was 2002, 03.
Sorry, yeah. 02, 03. Mm-hmm. It had to be 02. It was 02, August 02.
Okay.
I was in 11th grade. Lord Willing was the first album, produced entirely by the Neptunes. And this group was in a really unique space because you had music that was coke raps, but it was produced entirely by the Neptunes, who in the early 2000s had more of a like
crossover pop appeal.
Exactly. So this put them in a space that was really unique, and they gave this group that quote unquote pop appeal, but they were still themselves. They were popping up on songs with Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake's breakout single featured this group. Like people kind of forget about that lore, right? And they had a unique label situation that kind of fucked up what they were building, you know, with Jive, right? And obviously I'm talking about the Clipse at this point. And this album, you know, they followed up they followed up Lord Willing with Hell Hath No Fury, and then they followed that up with Till the Casket Drops, which became their last album after Clipse. Obviously, we know that Pusha T went on to have a successful solo career, held it down. Malice kind of just dedicated himself to, he found God and he just pivoted completely. And Till the Casket Drops is the album that we're going to highlight today because this is going to be on the heels of what people are anticipating, the Clipse comeback any day now. We don't know when that shit is dropping. But they're dropping it soon. And there's been a lot of rumors about how good it is and some of the features that are going to be on it. We can almost guarantee that there's going to be a Kendrick appearance on it. There's some speculation that even Jay-Z is on it. So we just got to wait and see. But like I said, we're highlighting Till the Casket Drops. This album was released December 8th, 2009. It was marked as the final Clipse album. Label issues may have hindered the visibility for this album because it's not that they were chart darlings before this, but they at least had the respect back then. And this album kind of just came out and it just didn't garner not only the same praise it didn't get, but it also didn't get the highlight that it deserved in that time for artists like them. So once again, most of the production was handled by Pharrell and the Neptunes. The album debuted at number 46 on the chart, which is pretty disappointing. 31K, which today would be great, but back then, you know, you didn't have streaming. You know, 31K, right? That would be great today. The album, it followed, like I said, Hell Hath No Fury. It featured Kerry Hilson, Kanye West, Pharrell, Cameron, and more. What's your take on when this album dropped?
I was getting into Re-Up Gang and listening to that mixtape, so I was kind of like excited to hear what they were going to do, and then, you know, find out, like, oh man, this is going to be like their last album because like they're going their separate ways. Like I was like, damn, like, you know, like I was like only 3 albums and they already doing this, but I was excited because I felt like before it came, I was like, this is going to be the album that like, since the last one, like it's going to like set them apart, and like it kind of like didn't go that way. And then hearing the album, it was kind of like they kind of like went more commercial mainstream sound and trying to do, and it was very different from what I was used to from them. So I was kind of like trying to figure that out. Like, damn, what made them go like so crossover with the production? Like you could tell, like, all right, Pharrell. I was like in my head, I was like, Pharrell must have told him like, yo, you got to do this.
Yeah. Even when I listened to it back then, I could tell that Pharrell pushed the sound on them, and this was just the era that Pharrell was in.
Like he was making hits. I get it and everything, but you could tell like from the first two projects that they did, like it was just less grimy, not as aggressive. It was more like flutes and happy drums.
Yeah. And I don't think it meshed with the sound that people wanted from them. The Pharrell sound was golden, but at this time, like the capturing the magic of Hell Hath, I still remember even the review for Hell Hath and XXL, they gave it a perfect XXL rating, which is like a big deal. And they said some really good words about it, of just the stability of the project, the chemistry of it, how Malice and Pusha were able to like bounce off each other. And that chemistry is still there on this album. Yeah. It's just that the beats don't flow
happy
as well.
Beats.
Yeah, it's some happy ass beats on here, man. And it just didn't flow well. Even the features for them just didn't capture it for them, I don't think. Like, so the album opens up with Freedom, which is pretty strong. It's a strong intro.
Gospel.
And then the duality of them is on display already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Malice shines on the first opening track.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And then, you bring up Malice, and how he was already kind of stepping out of the game. And there's hints all over this album about how he feels. Yeah. Like when you listen to it, like back then it didn't stand out to me like how it does on a re-listen. Like for here, like he already hints at this being the end for him, the end of the road for him, which I thought was pretty powerful. So when you listen to this, you can tell that they're on opposite ends,
And apparently this was one of the last verses that he rapped as Malice, like before he changed to No Malice. This was like one of the last verses and everything. Like I was like, oh, look at this fun fact.
Yeah. Ah, that's interesting. Okay. And then we get to Popular Demand, which was a big single. To You Messy Bitch. You messy ass bitch. What you thought of this one?
I enjoy. I mean, just starting off with him being a messy bitch. One, I don't think it's true. I don't think LeBron James was sleeping with Yes Jules, but I thought that this was like a perfect marriage. I thought it was pretty cool that like I would love to hear Cameron work with Pharrell more. With the Neptunes, the Neptunes are broken up too, but I would like to hear Cameron and Pusha T rap and Cameron rapping the Neptunes. I thought that this was like dope, and like I thought like this was like a sign of like things to come.
Yeah,
and it's funny because like Cameron like is very to himself. He don't like work with a lot of people. But like I was like very like excited to like hear this song. Like I was like, oh shit, like my worlds are colliding right now.
And Pharrell is so good at choruses. I love this chorus.
Yeah,
outside of Popeyes, eating chicken and fries. Come holler at your uncle. Like it's so good, and he's one of those artists that will give you the chorus with the beat, know?
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's perfect. Like,
it's like work around this. That's like half the work.
Half. Oh, all I gotta do is give these bars and I might even have them ready.
Like, this is what I felt when I did this. You should use this chorus, and just gives it to them. That's how I picture him working. And it works out very well. I think Popular Demand is one of those songs that's in their arsenal for sure. Kind of like a Big Deal.
It's always
Kanye West.
It's always interesting because you always assume that Kanye West is rapping on a song that he produced it. So for so long, I thought he produced the song.
Yeah.
For so long, I was not giving Khalil his credit.
This to me is one of Kanye's best verses ever.
Yeah, it is. He basically he goes in depth talking about the car crash.
Yeah,
like all man, like
Meet Mr. Popular.
I really thought that this man produced that beat. Like, I was giving him credit for this.
Fire Marshall said, I took it to the max like TJ. Yeah. He went crazy on this.
Who you think wrote this? Rhymefest, Consequence.
Are they listed? Let's see. Maybe they're listed.
Maybe.
Kind of like a big deal. Well, he's listed as a writer.
I ain't write that first.
You don't think so?
Oh no. No, man, you giving Kanye too much credit, brother.
Yeah, maybe.
He ain't write that shit.
But
I had that. That's why I'm like, it had to be somebody close to him that know that story.
I guess I'm like the Black Marshall. He's Jay. Yeah, that shit. Oh, he motherfucker. Yeah, this was a really good song, I think. And at the time, it was a really big time for Kanye. What was this? 2009. So it was refreshing to hear him like this because he wasn't rapping like this at the time. Didn't the 808s come out a year prior?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why this was such a big deal. It's like, oh shit, Kanye is rapping.
Mm-hmm.
You know? No auto-tune in sight either. It's really good. Really, really good. That takes us into Showing Out, which features Yo Gotti.
Mm-hmm. Another Coke rap guy.
What's most notable on this song for me is that Malice keeps talking about his distakes with rap. You know? He says one line he said in here, he said, Common says he loved her. I wish I never met her. Right? So I was like, oh shit. Wow. All right, this nigga hates rap.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to that point sometimes. But I think that label situation also, like, it just
left a bad taste in his mouth. Sorry to the fans when Packers wasn't playing fair job. Like, he's always been the one to kind of buck the system or try to. And yeah, so hearing it in this way, it's no surprise, but it's like, oh shit, like he's been.
Yo, hearing this sad ass verse from Malice, and the first time I heard this song was in a strip club, is hilarious.
You know what's funny about that? Like, you know, you listen to a lot of Future, you know, and then he rapping some sad ass shit, but the beat is crazy. So people not really taking that what he's saying. Yeah, and they play that. He's a strip club staple, but none of his shit should be in a strip club from the words of it. I won't say none of it, but a good majority of it.
Yeah.
That takes us into I'm Good.
This is the song that real Clipse fans hated.
I love this song.
I love it too, but I understand why they hate it. This song is such a commercial song, right? Like this song, like they really went for it.
Mm-hmm. It's such a feel good song. It's like a barbecue song.
It is. It's a great song, but like it's obvious they went for it on that song, bro. Like, and like real Clipse, like they hate, like, what?
Yeah, I agree. I see why, but they've had that on their other shit and people liked it. Like Ma, I Don't Love Her.
It's different.
Yeah.
The beat, everything is just different. Like that's like this song, like it was just very clear, bro. Like, and I love that song. I'm looking good. I'm looking good. Like it's a very good, feel good song.
It feels like a barbecue.
Yeah, it does.
It's a good one.
It does.
And then that takes us into There Was a Murder.
Dark storytelling at its finest.
Yeah.
The song details violence, betrayal, and death in the streets. That's what I wrote.
Another like no snitching trope, you know. I've seen it done better, obviously. There's been so many no snitching songs. It just didn't stand out to me.
Yeah. This was definitely Malice definitely had the verse.
Yeah. I mean, he had the verse on the after this.
We'll talk about that later, right?
I mean, Doorman. Hard. One of the highlights of this album.
Yeah, it was built around sirens and alarms.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. It's one of the highlights, and I think this is the nitty gritty of Clipse. You know, songs like this.
Yeah, it was, and then like knowing that it's like a metaphor. Being the doorman is like a metaphor. Like, yo, I control the building. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I control with it. Like, the drugs get in and out. And stuff, so
the chorus is good. Everything about this song, all their verses, it just hits for me. And then, you know, we kind of go downhill from there. Never Will It Stop. What you think?
I'm a Re-Up Gang fan, so hearing
Ad-Lib, yeah.
like hearing him on the song, like always, you know, I'm like, Re-Up Gang, yes. But yes, this is one of the low points of the album. Yes, Reg.
Well, don't stop there, because we get into All Eyes on Me with Carrie Hilson.
This is the worst song on the album.
This is terrible. Did you see Piece by Piece?
I did not.
In Piece by Piece, Pusha actually talks about this song.
What did he say?
He said it's the worst song that they've ever made. And he said he's so embarrassed by the song because it's so bad. And when I watched Piece by Piece, I was like, damn, I don't remember that song. And I went back and I listened to it and I was like, man, this is a bad song. It's really, 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 really bad. And it features Carrie Hilson.
So Carrie's fault.
Don't just blame Carrie, you know, because we love Beyonce. You can't just blame Carrie.
I'm just blaming Carrie because it's a bad song.
It's a bad song, but that beat also contributes to why it's a bad song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just, all I wrote in my notes is terrible. Wow. I said, wow, terrible. But yeah, and that's how I felt about it. That takes us into Counseling. With Saved by the Name of Nicole Hurst.
This song's not their, like, songs like this aren't their strong suits.
Yeah.
Talking about relationships and stuff like that. It's just not their strong suit.
In my notes, I wrote everything is falling apart. And I mean that. I think this album isn't even that long. And toward the end of it, I'm like, damn, like we're still here, because the songs that were following just weren't very good. Champion's not bad, but it's a very Up That Era song, and it sounds like a T.I. song.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're chasing the radio.
Yeah, because this was T.I. and his, what is it, Paper Trail era. That's what this sounds like for T.I. Footsteps. Verses are strong, but the chorus is not very good.
Yeah, it's this one, it was Malice kind of questioning like his past decisions and choices in life. So like that was kind of like the standout of the song, so. Yeah.
And then we end off with Life Change.
Perfect closing. I think it was, like it seemed like, I guess because like Malice had it in his mind that he was stopping, like it, like he was able to kind of like put a bow on shit, essentially.
Yeah. I think his mind was made up, but he was only here because of his brother.
Yeah. So I think like that's why like his verses hit so hard, because it's kind of like he decided to like take a different route, which is always dope. Like for a rapper that you're used to like kind of like mastering one part of what they rap about, and then like they tap into something else. Like imagine if like Jay-Z started only rapping and using metaphors for food or something.
Pusha's like unlocking a different side of his creativity, and Malice is just like, yeah, that's cool, that's fine.
I agree.
And he's just checked out, but his checked out is still pretty good. It still reads well. It's just apparent though that he's checked out. So 13 songs. This is kind of a benchmark in their discography only because of what it represents. It's such a tail end, and it's such a finale of an album in that way. Let's get to ratings.
I give this 3 out of 5 waffles. I probably could have went lower, but I can listen to this project. A lot of their attempts to cross over is what hurt them. And like, is what the problem is that like, they tried to cross over so much, like on this project, it was too obvious. And then even though like they have chemistry and that they're brothers, us knowing that Malice was checked out and like Pusha was like, you know, preparing to go solo, it kind of like makes it's like it's too obvious. It's like the curtains pulled back.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, like you don't get invested in a project. Like I could argue that this was an album with Malice featuring Pusha T.
Yeah. Yeah, you could. I think for me, I give this a 2.5 out of 5.
Of course you do.
I think there's some good moments on here. I don't think that they were attempting the crossover. I think it was pushed on them by Pharrell. I think they were just showing up and doing their jobs and their due diligence. And it's also a critique that I've had about Pusha for a while, where I don't feel like he has creative direction as far for his raps. I think he needs and benefits from people like Pharrell and Kanye to show him how to package his shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he just raps, and I think him having people like that around him really helps him put his shit in a direction. The downside of that is when you have somebody package your shit the wrong way.
That's true.
You know? And then with something like this, re-listening to this reminded me of Stankonia, in the sense that it was very obvious that Big Boy and Andre were in different places.
Okay.
Right? So like when you listen to it, you can tell that Big Boy is still passionate about this shit, but Andre wants to try new things, you know? And then it makes sense that the album that follows Stankonia was Speaker Box and Love Below, where they're completely separate. You know, they just had, it's like, yo, nah, he's on this shit and he's on this shit. That was just the best way to package it and still mask it like not everything is fine, you know? With this, unfortunately, I would have loved to hear a Clipse split album. I would have loved that.
Yeah, that would have been dope. Like No Balance was like really like really was like I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, he was done.
Yeah.
And I think Andre on his side of things, the way that he compromised was, let's just do a split thing, you know? Where with Malice, he just was like, no, I'm done. This is not serving me no more. I'm not getting what I want out of this no more. And it worked out for them because now they reunited. I would love to see the interviews that follow and their promotion for their comeback of what brings him back. Why did he come back? Yeah. I would love if somebody
it seems like we see them and then like weeks go by, we don't hear nothing else.
Yeah, we don't hear shit. Weeks, months, we don't hear anything.
You're 100% right.
So like, I would love to see on their resurgence, somebody asks him like, yo, like, what brought you back? Why are you Malice again?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, maybe he's still no Malice. I don't know.
Nah, he's still, now it says Malice.
It just says Malice?
Mm-hmm. Like, why are you Malice again? What brought you back? What's up? Where's your head at right now? But we'll see that eventually, I guess. If you are listening, viewers, listeners, let us know what you think of this album. If you've never visited this album, it makes for a fun re-listen. You know, some of you probably don't even know the Clipse. Some of you just know Pusha T. So this will be your first time delving into that.
Christ.
I recommend not starting with this album. Go back, listen in order and just see what you come up with. And on your re-listen or your first listen, let us know what you think. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
And we're out of here.
We'll catch you next time. Dun dun.